This is Good Morning San Diego.
The Fulton County prosecutor Nathan Wade has withdrawn from the Trump election fraud case, allowing DA Fani Willis to continue the legal battle. Here to talk to us about the impact of this scandal, federal criminal defense attorney Vikas Bajaj. Vic, great to see you as always.
Good morning, thank you.
We've already had a nice conversation about this during the break.
Yes.
You put it in very simple terms. I say to you, you understand the legal ins and outs, and you're like, you don't have to understand law, it's how people operate.
You know, if you're a student of human behavior, which I know you are, and I admire that about you, I tend to aspire to be the same. And when you look at this, you know, these are people in ties that have law degrees that are simply displaying the power of a power play. We have a 32-year-old young man in the infancy of his career.
You talk about the
judge. McAfee.
Right.
Now, Judge McAfee, interestingly enough, worked under Fani Willis as his direct supervisor when he was in that district attorney's office prosecuting robberies and murders. So you're asking a 32-year-old judge who is now facing an opponent, surprisingly enough, a very liberal opponent, in an area that's majority black and African American. So the chances of him being accused of being racist, frankly, are very high. And also losing his job in an area and being canceled out of the legal community is very high. Perhaps not a daunting task for a 65-year-old who's saying, I'm going to sip Mai Tais on a yacht soon and I'm retired. But that's not Judge McAfee. So you don't have to be a lawyer to understand the simple political power play, the practical play in this case, Jason.
And Judge McAfee is about to go up for re-election, right?
That's correct. And he has a number of new opponents that are putting their names on the ballot. They're extraordinarily liberal, in direct contrast to some of the training he had. He was part of the Federalist Society when he was at Georgia's law school, a conservative publication. So there is an argument that he was well balanced. But perhaps the defense missed the boat by not filing a peremptory challenge for this judge. Because at that age, it's hard to really, in any way, shape, or form, Jason, believe that somebody's going to commit their own suicide for their occupation or their breadwinning ability for the rest of their lives.
Judge McAfee, just to back up, worked under Fani Willis.
Yes.
All the way back from 2010.
That's correct. Yes.
How is that not a conflict of interest in this case?
Well, and that's the whole thing. There are conflicts within conflicts. Now, legally, a conflict of interest has to be something that's easily proven to have materially affected the decision-making process or the outcome. So is it a conflict? Absolutely. And you can bet your bottom dollar that Judge McAfee asked both sides, are you willing to waive that potential conflict, even though I used to work for the district attorney's office and that district attorney? That puts defense counsel primarily in a very difficult position because it happens quite often when you either have a judge that you feel may be unduly biased or you know that judge just isn't the right one for your type of client or your type of case. We have one shot to make that peremptory challenge. But many judges and the bench in that jurisdiction may consider that to be offensive. Who is a defense attorney to challenge the judge, the sitting judge? So many times defense attorneys as a group in a co-defendant case agree that they're not going to challenge, but they're going to go with this option because option B may be much worse.
What do you foresee going forward now? What can we expect?
Well, I can expect that there's going to be a writ of mandamus. Whether this is subject to a direct appeal, an interlocutory appeal, which would stop the case, is up for discussion. However, a writ of mandamus filed with the district court in that area, the immediate superior court, would be a request to say, hey, stop, let's hold on, let's resolve this issue because we believe Judge McAfee made an error. And it's so disastrous and irreparable under the law that we must decide this before this case goes to a jury. I believe we will see that happen here quickly.
And when we think back to Fani Willis's testimony, she was over the top, she was borderline arrogant. And is that why the judge allowed her because of their past history? Because I would think a judge would go, wait right there.
Well, when you say borderline arrogant, I think you're being too kind, well, Jason. Yeah. It was insulting. It was unprofessional. It was unduly aggressive. And frankly, she was a bully on the stand, which is what we don't want to see from prosecutors who have the ultimate authority for a person's life or liberty. We don't want to see that. I've never seen in my career, and I've only been doing it almost 24 years now, a witness get away with that type of demeanor on the witness stand, especially in a highly publicized case like we have here today. So yes, one would wonder, he seems quite judicious and very well balanced, this judge, Judge McAfee that is. Mm-hmm. Why would he not lay down the hammer when there's an individual witness? Forget about it being a district attorney. This is a percipient witness who's testifying as a fact witness, which allows the fact finder, Judge McAfee, to entertain the demeanor, the willingness to answer questions, the truthfulness. And interestingly enough, if this were a jury trial, Jason, a jury would be instructed that they could ignore everything DA Fani Willis had to say because she lied simply one time. Why would the judge give her credibility on some things and find her to be a liar on others because he wasn't so soft about her unprofessionalism? The answer is the practical power play that's going on in that county with his future hanging in the balance.
Vic Bajaj, Vic, it's always great to talk to you. You always use words I've never even heard before. The writ of something, and I don't even know what that is. But thanks.
Thank you, Jason.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you breaking it down for us.